Good Friday evening, everybody. Welcome to the Steelers Game Day post-game show. I'm Mason's Pesky, your host here with you. First things first, just a couple quick housekeeping things I want to say before we get into the game. First off, thank you guys so much for all the views on the pregame show and also all the views for a couple of videos we've had earlier. We've definitely seen more views the past couple of videos, and I'm so excited about that. Very happy about that, and I just want to say thank you for that. It means a lot to me. Second off, I just want to say I'm sorry for posting this one so late. When the game was over last night, I went right to bed pretty much. And then this morning I woke up, had my classes, and did some school stuff from there, and then came home. Sorry to burp. Did some school stuff, so yeah. And this is why I'm doing it so late, so... Anyway, though, the Pittsburgh Steelers last night defeated the Tennessee Titans 20-6 by a final score of 20-16 at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh. This was an awesome game. So just to recap the game, Steelers did score on their opening touchdown drive. We took the ball first. We won the toss. We elected to receive. We took the ball right down the field, scored a touchdown. Matt Canada was pumped up on the sidelines, and we'll get to that in a couple minutes too. But Najee scored a rushing touchdown, and it was 7-0. Then later in the quarter, Nick Folk, he had a really good day for the Titans, Folk, and he made a field goal, 7-3 now. Later on in the second quarter, Derrick Henry scored a rushing touchdown, 10-7 Titans. Nick Folk makes another field goal for the Titans, 13-10. And that's how it is going into halftime. Then to begin the second half, Boz ties it up, makes it 13-13. To end the third quarter, Nick Folk kicks another field goal. It's 16-13 now. Tennessee leads. Nick Folk's leg is doing quite well for them until the fourth quarter with less than 4 minutes left, or right around 4 minutes left. Kenny Pickett finds an open Deontay Johnson. He breaks his touchdown streak. The Pittsburgh Steelers take a 20-16 lead. That's your final score. Pittsburgh Steelers 20, Tennessee Titans 16. Was definitely a great night at Acrisure. I did not go, by the way. It seemed hectic. The crowd seemed excited and amazing for sure. So, yeah, I tend not to go to primetime games. So, yeah. Anyway, though, just a couple quick things I'd like to take away from this one for sure. So, just bear with me for a couple minutes here. But anyway, just a couple quick things. Number one, I was impressed by Matt Canada's play calling last night. He called one of his best games ever as Steelers offensive coordinators. It was very weird to see him down on the sidelines because it doesn't really, sink in because you're always used to seeing him in the booth calling the plays. But seeing him on the sideline was great. I had mentioned before in a video about how his offenses at Pitt did so well, about how his offenses in Maryland, when he was head coach there, they put up 51 points and barely lost to Ohio State. And that was the most points I think anybody scored that season against that Ohio State team in 2018, but how great he did certain times, and a lot of it was I believed he should be on the sideline, and that showed last night looking at how good he did on the sideline. So hopefully the Matt Canada we saw last night is the Matt Canada that he can be, and if that's the Matt Canada he can be, maybe it wouldn't be a bad thing to give him one more year. I mean, it's probably too late now, but if we could get a 10, 11, possibly even 11-win season together, make the playoffs, win a playoff game, and then possibly maybe not make it past the divisional round, but still win that wild card round game. I can see a valid argument to extend Canada one more year. I know there's a lot of great offensive minds out there, and I would definitely want to take a look at them. It wouldn't be a bad idea, obviously, of course, to take a look at them. I think it's necessary that the Steelers do their due diligence on these names. One of these names I actually talked about, former Raiders head coach Josh McDaniels. I discussed his potential offensive coordinator candidacy for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You can find that video in the stream. So yeah, I think that I will do that. Should the Steelers fire Canada, I will do that, discuss potential OC candidates, their pros and cons, and all that stuff. So, yeah. But anyway, I think right now the focus should be on Matt Canada, helping him be the best coordinator he can truly be possible. Because if he does what he did last night, I mean, this offense could be great, and it could turn the corner for sure. The other thing was, another key takeaway I had is Joey Porter Jr. is the real deal. He was my clear-cut player of the game. I don't think anybody else came even close to winning that honor. I mean, obviously, Nazi had a great night, that's for sure. Deontay, I think, had a great night. Juan Alexander, the hero, he had a great night too. But I think Joey Porter Jr. had a phenomenal night. He definitely trumped all those guys by a mile. Topped all those guys by a mile, I should say. But he was amazing. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins went off against Atlanta. Absolutely destroyed Atlanta for 3 touchdowns. Will Levis had him open the whole game pretty much. Joey Porter Jr. shut him down. He was not very productive at all last night. Everybody thought about that Will Levis would be able to throw to him the whole game and it would be crazy and he would go off. He didn't because of Joey Porter Jr. And I think, so the Steelers have not have Joey Porter Jr. in that game, or that he didn't play, we would have lost that game. So he is my clear-cut player of the game. There's no doubt about it for me, Joey Porter Jr. But that was a huge pick by Omar Khan. I give him all the credit in the world. He's on his way to great things here in Pittsburgh. I love seeing him and Peterson out on the field together. But JPJ, I mean, great night by him. He's the real deal, and he's the future of this team at quarterback, whether you like it or not. So, good night to Joey Porter Jr. So, he impressed me big time last night. The next player I have, or the next thing I have to take away from this one is the fact that this offense, again, might be clicking. I mean, good to see that. I mean, everybody played well last night. And this is it leads into my big takeaway from this point, and that's Kenny Pickett. He is a clutch quarterback. I mean, Pittsburgh fans always remember, and this game is now circling in my head. It's replaying in my brain as I talk to you guys. It's so funny, but the game, it was December 17th, 2017, New England Patriots against Pittsburgh Steelers. Tom Brady drove down the field to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, unfortunately. Funny story, I was a Patriots fan back then. I used to be a Patriots fan. Then I came back and became a Pittsburgh fan. I did like Tom Brady a lot, so that's a funny story for sure. But anyway, I'm a Steeler fan now, so it's all good. But I definitely remember that, and that's one thing I love about Kenny Pickett, and that's why he gives me hope as our franchise quarterback, is the way he executed that drive last night, the game-winning drive against the Rams when we had it, the end drive when we sealed the deal against the Rams with that run sneak, the Christmas Eve win last year against Vegas, and just how he drives this team, the game against Baltimore this year, and just how he can take this team down the field and win games. He truly does have shades of Tom Brady in that regard. And that's a huge plus for Pittsburgh to be able to have somebody like that. I truly do believe Kenny Pickett is the franchise quarterback. He may not be a Mahomes, an Allen, a Burrow, a Hurts, but he is clutch. He shows up when it matters most. He means a lot to this team. And I think that Omar, and I know they have, I'm not accusing them of not doing this, but I think it is so important that for at least the next decade, maybe not, at least 8 years to a decade, that Omar Khan, Mike Tomlin, and Art Rooney do whatever it takes to invest as much money as possible and draft picks as possible into building Kenny Pickett an offense that he can do great things with. If you get him some more playmakers, some better O-line work, he can be the real deal. And a coach, I don't think, and I truly like this guy. I met him a lot at training camp. I met Canada a lot at training camp. They're truly, truly amazing people. But I don't know about Pat Meyer being the future of the O-line. I'm a huge fan of Joe Philbin. That's for sure. I think he'd be a great O-line coach. He's from this area, so I'd love to have him here in some state of capacity. Not saying Pat Meyer's bad or anything, but I was just reading today. If they put together a season first team, like all pro for this season so far. Guess who was one of the players chosen for the line? Kevin Dotson. Kevin Dotson did barely anything here. Why is he doing so good in LA? I don't get it. I mean, if he's being picked for All-Pro, and we invested in our line, we drafted a guy named Broderick Jones who's good. Dan Moore Jr.'s been good. Isaac Samalu. Herbig. Sorry about the dog, by the way. Why isn't this line improved? I think coaching is a big deal. And I think that that's where the improvement needs to happen. I mean, our line pretty much at this point, in terms of name-wise and talent-wise, can compete with some of the best when it does what they need to do. For instance, you didn't see a lot of name recognition and like significant talent when it comes to Detroit and Philly's O-lines. I mean, Philly, obviously, they have Lane Johnson. He's amazing. Detroit, they drafted Penei Sewell. He's amazing. He was the face of their rebuild. You've got to build through the trenches in this league anymore. That O-line is so huge. It's a big deal. And we do have talent at that position. I just don't know if it's being maximized. So they need to invest in making the O-line the best it could possibly be for Kenny. Because he's the real deal. And he's going to be a good quarterback. So they need to do something about that. And the last big takeaway I have from this game is this. There are way too many penalties. Look, I get it. Tennessee had a lot too. Those refs were a lot of them. I saw memes on the internet, first day of night football, be like, and then they said the 49ers field with like 20 flags on it. So I get it. But look, we cannot be making this many penalties in a game. Yes, the refs last week in the Jacksonville game were horrible, to say the least. But now back-to-back weeks. This is not the first time. Yes, I don't know if referees like Pittsburgh. I can see that statement. Pitt was robbed 2 weeks ago by a stupid referee call. Same thing with Penn State. Ripped off against Ohio State. I doubt these refs are just picking on our city intentionally. So I think there needs to be more discipline. Yes, penalties are very hard to work on in practice. So, I mean, if we're not making mistakes in practice, why are we during the game? I don't know. Maybe the refs are bad. But a lot of those calls, I did see a lot of mistakes. We can definitely be better. That is for sure. But anyway, though, I was impressed overall with this game. I mean, I think we should have won by more, to be honest with you, the way we played. I was really impressed the way we played. Shout out to Tennessee, especially Will Levis, Todd J. Spears. I was very high on both of them in the draft. They both did good. I mean, Levis did okay last night. No means was he great. You can make the argument that he was good. I personally think he did average, to be honest. The one good thing about Levis, and this gives me hope, is the talent evaluator as well. He doesn't do bad with throwing across the field. My dad and I were talking, and we kind of agreed that's like the cardinal sin of QBing, when you throw the ball across the field. Mahomes does it amazingly. Last week during the Pitt game, Christian Valu did not. Last night, Will Levis did average. If he can improve on that, and he can be more accurate, then he could be really good. I did see last night, especially on the last play of the game, the Quan Alexander interception. a lot of Josh Allen. That's the kind of interception, and I know this because I watched a lot of Buffalo. So that's how I know this. That's the kind of interception Josh Allen would throw. Across the field, right to a linebacker. It's not like Josh Allen gets intercepted all the time on deep balls. So I don't know what the situation is. But, I mean, he still does remind me a lot of Josh Allen. And if he turns out to be a Josh Allen, then this Steelers team could say, man, we beat a really good quarterback. So, yeah. Will Levis can be good, but I don't know if he can be great. It's going to be interesting for sure. I really like the way the Steelers drafted this year. I really like the way the Titans drafted. Rand Cothorn and Omar Khan are two amazing general managers. So this game shows a lot of what the future can be for sure for both teams. And it looks bright for sure. Pittsburgh owns Tennessee though for now. And hopefully we continue to own them in the future and keep the good vibes rolling. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Real quick, like I always do before I wrap this video up, let's look ahead to the next game. The next game, we get a little bit of a mini bye here before we host the Green Bay Packers, Sunday, November 12th, 1 o'clock p.m. It'll be the Steelers' first game against the Packers since 2017 without Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if the Packers... Technically, Rodgers was on the roster at the time, but he was hurt. But this will be the Steelers' first game in a long time against the Packers without Aaron Rodgers on the Packers roster or even with the team. This past offseason, Rodgers was traded to the New York Jets in exchange for some draft picks and stuff. So that was definitely interesting. Green Bay has started rookie quarterback Jordan Love, who was drafted in 2020. He's done okay. He started out strong, but now he's not doing so good. The Packers have not won a game since Sunday, September 24th. They're 2-5 on the year. They play the Rams this week, so I think they'll win that game. I picked that game for sure in favor of the Packers. They do have young talent, though. I mean, I like a lot the running back core: Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. Wide receivers look good. Jaden Reed, Kristen Watson. Those two both have potential. Romeo Doubs. The tight end situation, maybe they'll figure that out soon. The O-line could be better for sure. Defense needs to improve. They do have some playmakers: Devonta Wyatt, Quay Walker, Lucas Van Ness. This team can be good. It's just, I don't know about them. I mean, the GM, Brian Gutekunst, said there's no guarantee the team will keep Jordan Love. Take that with a grain of salt because, a lot of things are up in the air right now. But anyway, though, the Steelers need to start getting ready for the Packers. This team has potential for sure. It'll be interesting for sure to see a Jordan Love-led Green Bay Packers team who is falling out of contention for a playoff berth, it seems like, and is kind of beginning this rebuild in what is looking like to be a more and more competitive NFC North each and every year. Because right now with that division, the Lions are doing good. The Vikings have potential for a playoff berth. The Bears, not very good. And the Packers. So, the Packers are going to be feisty for a win next week. Steelers got to stop them. We got to prepare now with this long week we got, this mini bye week we got. No days off at this point. Get the win. Get to 6-3. After that, it gets tough. We head to Ohio to play the hateful rivals, the hated rivals, the Browns and the Bengals, both in the Buckeye State. Then we come home for a little bit of an easy, sticky stretch here. Arizona and New England. Then on the road in Indy, which is pretty much our last easy stretch at this point. Because then the last 3 games are a gauntlet. Bengals in Seattle against the Seahawks and at the Baltimore Ravens. So this coming Sunday is huge. Because if we can win this, that puts us at 6-3. Sitting pretty. At that point, all we have to do is sweep those 3 not-so-good teams. The Cardinals, the Patriots, and the Colts. That gets you a winning record. And that should be good enough to get to the playoffs. So if we can win Sunday, And if we could take one of those 2 games in Ohio and we can sweep that Cardinals, Patriots, Colts tandem, we should be definitely looking good at the playoffs. Yes, we did blow winnable chances against Houston. Yes, you can make the argument we had a winnable chance against Jacksonville, but that was just a downright ugly game, so I wouldn't say that's the best. And I think we could have played San Francisco better. I think if that game was played this week, it would be a much closer game than what it was. So yeah, you can make an argument that this team's better than it looks. I think 9-8 would be good enough to make these playoffs because soon the divisional games are going to start to kick in and these teams are going to start beating up on each other. But it looks like in this AFC, everything's ultra competitive. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what happens, that's for sure. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys on this show. Kind of a long show, so I'll decide to end it here. Get ready, get some rest, enjoy this Sunday of football. Prepare for the Packers, November the 12th, 1 o'clock p.m. Have a good one. Take care. Stay safe. You're all the best. Pray for Israel. And as always, peace. See you next week for the Packers.